What is going on? It is Daniel with Cuervo ATV. Been a little while, but we're back at it. 2024. And doing a update video on my personal bike. Where it's at, what's going on with it, motor build. It's been a little while. So, this is my 2023 base model 700. Done a few things to it. We mainly ride dunes here locally in Oregon, and that's how we have it set up. So this particular motor combo suits real well for dunes, dirt, street. A little excessive on a dirt tire, but we will go over chassis stuff. Did some things there. We'll get into motor stuff and any future plans. So what we have is rear swing arm is a 8-over extension. That is a Stellar Machine unit. That's what we mainly use and sell. Front suspension is Lone Star +2 width and an inch forward. This is their DC4 arms. It's kind of what I prefer. There's some nice stuff on the market from a few other brands, but these are normally the ones that I'll get. Fitment's been real good on them. Decided to stay with the factory brake lines and got these clamps to work with those. That's a whole lot less work going to install on there, but the stainless lines never seem to lay right on the bike. They're always a bit twisted. So these worked out good doing it in that way. We have Stage 5s custom tuned. Those were ordered through Lone Star as well. Lots of different places sell them, but coming off of the I think it was the Stage 3s without the rebound adjusting. They had a kit that was $1,000. I think it's about $1,300 now, with fronts and rears. That kit is an upgrade coming from stock, but the Stage 5s, even though they're a ton of money, they are definitely worth the money. It's tough to justify those shock purchases for most people, but I would say if you're coming off of stock pogos, anything's an upgrade. But if you've already had a few sets, the Stage 5s to me were worth the money, and comfort that goes along with them. Underneath we have a Precision Elite steering stabilizer. Once again, higher end of the market there, but worth the money if you're looking for more comfort and not getting beat up on the bike. I have a SE factory style front bumper, and these are the retro quad headlights. Those have been pretty cool, work pretty bright. Work pretty bright. That's not worded well at all. They're pretty bright, work pretty well at night when they should. Happy with that. There can always be more light, but that was well worth the money for those. Okay, so steering stem, particular bike, a little bit of an issue on this one, but this is a Precision stem. It actually came in the wrong length, and due to time constraints, I had to make do with it. So this one's an inch shorter than it should be, so I did end up putting some spacers and longer studs on there. Since it's bought and paid for already, I decided to leave it be. Looks a little different than it normally would, but we're gonna roll with it. So, two controls. We have our clutch lever that we put on all the bikes. Nice clean setup. No drama there. Still has a clutch switch. We are running our Mossy thumb throttle. Once again, premium side of things. Well worth the money though if you're looking for comfort and adjustability. Now the rest of the bike is got some unique ITPs, but they've been buffed down and lightened up quite a bit. So those are actually half a pound lighter than the normal Mohawks you see. On factory wheels, keeping it simple in the front. We do have some trees out here in the trails, and the front wheels seem to take some damage sometimes. So on the rear, as you'll notice, I have a factory axle on here. But what I did is I changed out the wheel hubs to YFZ 450R hubs. They are offset an inch roughly on each side, so that gives me an inch wider on each side, and then these rear wheels and the tire on it stick out another 3/4 inch, so I'm about a 1/4 inch narrower per side compared to the front. But that all works and rides great. It tracks well in the grooves. Is something you gotta think of or consider when riding trails, of like how that center line of the tire rides in comparison. So that all worked out pretty good. I have done before like the G-Force or Tusk hubs, the aluminum ones. I don't like those at all. I see them come in that are in pretty poor condition. So I don't recommend that. These were $100 a piece, so $200. I could have put a axle on it. I'm not a big fan of the aftermarket axles. I'd rather just leave a stock one on there. RPM Dominator or the Lone Star axles, both great pieces, but sometimes it's choose to go a different way on it. And I like how the factory one tightens up and everything fits. So what is next? We didn't really talk about, these are the my favorite bar I like to run. They are the KFX 450 ATV band off like a 08 Cowie 450. These ones are in black, but that's what bend or part number it is. That's the 814. Those are not exactly the same bend as stock, but they have a nice turn back, swoop. All the controls fit how they should and work out really well with the Shock and Vibe handlebar mount. What is next to talk about? Key switch relocation there on the fender. That normally goes there, works out pretty well, has enough length, all of those things. Looks clean. Nothing crazy going on there. This particular build, let's go motor size. Oh, I did, well, finish a few things here as well. Factory hill guards. I did recess the bolts here. I tend to catch that with the side of my ankle. So I recess those bolts, trying that. These are DS 450 ATV foot pegs welded onto the factory peg to give that kick up extension. We talked about that before. Okay, so power-wise, motor-wise, what we got going on, the latest news on this is our Trail Monster 740cc high compression kit. Particular bike is on E85. What we do with the E85 is we do a fuel pressure regulator to bump pressure and a bigger injector. This one's running on a 650cc injector, so not a huge injector. It's not needed. with our head package and the efficiency of this head, and we'll talk about that in a minute here. So 6 mil stroke with Cuervo rod, specialty CP 14.5 compression piston on the factory bore size. So we do a stud kit on the head, has OEM gaskets on the cylinder and head. This one has our 50/50 billet camshaft, new billets only. That's all we do there. And we are making 77 horsepower, 59 foot-pounds of torque, and is a terrible amount of fun to ride. So even with the 8-over swing arm, we do have 14 paddle extremes on here, but even with the 8-over swing arm, this engine package setup will pull the front end on the ground. Relatively easy, very controllable, but a 6-over is going to do wheelies all the time. So another one of our specialty parts is our rear brake pedal that works with the lockup. So you've got a direct drive lockup on the engine. We do a shallow logoed cover that gives us more room. This foot peg will work with or without the Lexan, and with or without the lockup. But back to the head side of the engine. This is our +1 CNC head package. So it gets valves, our high rev spring kit, 50/50 cam, all of the upgrades, all the standard stuff. This build is very much what somebody can buy and use, and what we sell all the time. You see we have our temp gauge early on fan kit control is on here. We do have our board throttle body, so factory throttle body overboard. That one works really great, been running those for a lot of years. Monster shorty exhaust, pretty standard stuff there, kept it pretty mellow with the all black. Under the seat we have a Fuel Customs intake without the air box. Let's see, we have a Power Commander 6. I did have a display screen, the Pod 300, up on the dash. I did end up breaking that, breaking the screen. Almost went over on a pretty harsh whoop as I was testing and pushing and adjusting the front suspension. Got a little bit wild, and screen saved me, but I also broke it at the same time. So ended up taking that off. The 23 wire harness and ECU is actually different. We'll speak on that real quick. 4-pin connector, that's how you can tell. So Power Commander 5, we do run a little bit different air filter sometimes. This one's different than the one that normally comes with the kit, I will say that. And I do have on here a Pro Taper batteries. Let's see, I got 14 hours on this bike, not a lot. That hour meter is wireless and very simple. Just stick it on and go. No additional stuff going on with it. So that one works really well. I don't particularly sell those, but I'll order them in if guys need them, right? So motor-wise and the bottom end, this one I ended up putting our close ratio 4th gear in. I'm just trying it on this power level. It's not really needed. Normally for like the 90 horse and above, it pushes closer to pushes 4th gear closer to 3rd gear by about 300 RPM. Armadillo case saver, Regina 520 DR chain is the one we use. And what else to speak on? We're gonna talk about tuning for a second. So how I mentioned, our head package is super efficient. So especially with this motor package. So I was doing some tuning and trying on this motor as a stock motor on E85, see how it would run if I could do that tune up. And we were on a 650 injector, a hot cam 3 board throttle body, and that tune up was pretty normal, ran pretty well. But what was very interesting, that was 63 horsepower. What was very interesting is when I did the 6 mil stroke, the high compression piston, and the head package, that same mapping, that same tune-up was actually pretty close in what the new engine combo wanted. So we went way up in power. We added 15 horsepower, but the fuel requirements or the fuel added in injector sizing, all that stayed the same. So it just kind of shows the efficiency in compression and a head package that works proper. So power with mileage, so this bike doesn't eat through a whole lot of fuel like you would expect, and that is one of the big benefits of the 15 and above head versus the 06 through 14 head and our head package there, the stroke, that combo, all that working together. Like, there's a lot of guys doing some stuff and a lot of guys selling parts and heads, but if you don't have the experience on the tuning and modifying of those combos, like, they can get pretty messy and really inefficient and just dumping fuel down them while not running real strong in the process like they could. So very small refinements over a lot of years to make these things run as hard as they do. So that is all I can really think of that got added in or changed. So if you have a question on something that I didn't go over or explain well enough, leave a comment. If I see it, I can get to it and give you a straightforward answer on that. If not, give us a call. Phone number's in the description as always. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I hope you like the overview of what I've done with this one. And this year I plan on getting out and getting some ride time. That is the goal this year. So happy to have this bike as it is. I would say it's maybe 100% done, as far as I don't think I have anything I need to buy and do to it and put on. We might do some playing around on some weird combos or something. You know, maybe I'll throw a drag pipe and some C85 fuel on it and see what kind of power it'll max out at. Probably get into the low mid 80s possibly, but not too big of a deal. So that is it. We will get at some videos and some new information out there for you guys as I see fit. We've gone over a lot of topics and there hasn't been too many new products on the market. So for now we're just playing. I'm not going to make content just to push a video out. It's got to be something I care about and I see useful as information. So that is my update on my 23 Raptor 700 custom build. Holler at me if you need something, and thanks.